want to, so I do want to, as I said, I'm Bob Long. I have Jeff Peach with me. He's our techie. Susan Rogers is the former vice chair. She is managing the Zoom, the slides. Getting feedback. The reason I'm stuttering is this is Kristen. She's in my ear, and I'm hearing myself getting feedback. And then in Tahoe, we have with us Nate and Alex, who are also on the steering committee. So that's the group of us that are leading this event. So, so we want to remind you to mute your microphone so that just my voice that everybody hears. We're going to be monitoring the chat. So if you have any questions during the night, please type it into the chat and Kristen will relay that to me in my ear. I'm trying to be like a newscaster.
Or if they're here in the room, they can raise their hand.
Yeah, if you're in the room, raise your hand and you'll be picked up by the overhead mics. And we want to remind you that we are moving to a quarterly or sort of a quarterly meeting schedule. And so these are the next three meetings: May 2nd, August 1st, we're going to be in Truckee, and it'll be a hybrid meeting from Truckee, and then November 7th, we'll be back here. And then before we get started, I hope, can they see the map? I can't. No. Barely. Oh. They won't see the map very well. They won't see it. All right. Well, the reason I put the map behind me here is that the communities, the Firewise communities in Nevada County have turned this map in Nevada County almost entirely pink. When we all started this venture 5 years ago, I guess, there was 13 communities, and now we have 90, and some in training, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, many in training. So we never thought 90 was a number when we were looking at 13. Okay, so to get onto the agenda. And hold on. Oh, where's I forgot. Chief Matthias. Is he?
He can't be here tonight.
Oh, he can't be here tonight?
Actually, I don't know about Jim.
Oh, because I had something for him. So I read in the newspaper over the weekend that one of the medical schools in the Bay Area is studying beer, and they think that beer can make you smart. Now, I'm not quite sure about that. The only thing I know is that it made Bud wiser. That was for Jim. All right, so the resource of the month, generators.
So we are going to look at, there it is. Our resource of the month is generator safety. These are items that are already on our website. And so you would go to our website, nccoalition.wc.com. You would go to our education resources. And then you scroll down till you get to the part that's called outside, defensible space, landscaping, and generators. And we have 3 items on that. Generator safety, first, generators, what kind to buy and how to run it safely, which was a very good monthly presentation back in October 2020. It's a really nice PDF of all kinds of different types of generators, pros and cons. This was by Eric Cameron, who was a member and an engineer. And then we had a generator safety presentation once by Chief Matthias, and that's more about safety. And here's another one, 2-pager from Consumer Reports. So houses have burned down in Nevada County because people didn't know how to be safe with their generators. So you don't want that to be you. Back to you, Bob.
If for some reason they're hearing, there's some feedback, some wonder. I wonder if the So if I hold the mic closer, that's better, Kirsten? Okay, all right. So, partner reports. So, Paul, you're here. You're on.
Sure. You want to try to go without, should I go without the microphone? Because this microphone's on here. You want to turn that off and see how they can hear me? Can everybody hear me okay now?
So, Kirsten, can you hear Paul okay?
They can. Okay, good. So you just go without the microphone. All right. Good evening, folks. Glad to see some of you virtually and those of you here in person. I'm Paul Cummings from the County Office of Emergency Services. I talked tonight about three things: our winter storm response, the defensible space ordinance we're going to take to the board, and then a couple of grant updates. So many of you know firsthand, this was kind of a challenging series of rain events that we've had. Our emergency operations center actually has been opened now for 18 days to support the community through this winter storm event. Let's see, the big things we were supporting with the public, or working with Public Works on roads, county roads being open. There was some private road plowing, a great partnership with CAL FIRE in helping to remove some of the downed trees. We supported a shelter. So there was a warming shelter that we had at the Vets Hall. There was a lot of unhoused there, but that was also open to the public. We had 60 or so folks there. That was a pretty big deal. Kind of moving to the recovery phase though now. There's around, I don't know, 120 residents still without power. We're working hard with PG&E to get those folks back. We did declare a local emergency. There's a state emergency, and then there's been a federal presidential declaration for the event, which included Nevada County. For those, we have to still articulate the damages to the state and federal government to try to then qualify for public assistance and individual assistance. So we're encouraging residents to fill out a survey. If you've not already seen that, we sent a couple code reds out that included that. So that would be www.nevadacountyca.gov/storm survey. And that's kind of like an unmet needs survey where you can put on there, I have no power, I'm out of propane, I've had damages to my house. So the types of damages I've had and the costs, and that'll help us put an address and some damages together that we can then push to the state. We're actually updating that daily, and you can take that survey every day to get some fresh stats on there. But that'll help us as we make those arguments to the state. Lots of sandbags out there to be given away. So as we kind of move into that wetter weather, trying to work with the local nonprofits like United Way and Team Rubicon to come in and help folks. That's been a little bit tough to get off the ground, but really big picture, our emergency operations center will probably close in the next day or so, and we'll have recovery footing. People can't hear me.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of speaker must be far from the mic.
Okay.
It's fine.
Okay. So everybody can hear me okay now. Do you want to start over?
Give me the URL of the survey again for the screen.
Yeah, www.nevadacountyca.gov/storm survey. And that's in a way for folks to go online and put in any damages they've had to their house, any costs associated with that, and then that'll help us make the argument to the state and the FEMA. Thank you. There's the survey to get us potentially public and individual assistance. So big picture, a lot of great collaboration. I recognize the Firewise communities and those local communities for coming together to help people. We know there were certain communities that were hard hit. There was roof collapses in a lot of areas like Marica, and like Bloomfield and Greenhorn were hit really hard. And so this is kind of what we're starting to realize. These fluke winter storms are becoming less of a fluke, and that climate change or whatever you call it, every year we're starting to get these, and we need to have that year-round all hazard.
I assume you're through my from Pearson's house.
Oh, people still can't hear me?
Keep going.
Okay. If there's any questions on the county's response to the storm?
There's one question, and you should probably repeat it.
Sure.
Go ahead. It's about getting community chipping services to help clear the roads because there's lots of debris down now. So, repeat.
Yeah, on private roads, it sounds like there's a question around community chipping services. Not sure if it's county or private roads. I can't speak to that right now. I would say if it's a county road, push that information to the county. If it's a private road, I would say stand by for more information. Maybe there'll be some more micro grants, or there'll be some state or federal aid programs that could help. And I might also look to the Fire Safety Council. I'm not sure if there's some chipping programs that they have there too that could help. If I talk quickly about the defensible space presentation that we were going to give a couple weeks ago, but the storm hit, so we've moved it now to the 28th of March. And that's just updating the board on some of the inputs provided by the public. We again thank all the Firewise communities and for using the office hours in the survey to let us know what you thought about that. But we're going to try to get this finalized to an ordinance, um, taking in the changes around reaffirming the 50/50 cost share. So that's something that's going to stay. We've added in um, an ember resistant zone. So a 0 to 5 foot ember resistant zone will be added to the ordinance, which makes sense with where NFPA is going and insurance. So that'll become part of our ordinance and the county standard for defensible space. And then the last will be a new requirement that's going to require a parcel of less than 1 acre to fully treat the parcel. So you would treat it like a shaded field break, essentially, just like, if you recall the 100-foot defensible space requirement, limbing up trees and things like that. It's just going to take that all the way out to the full property line if you're an acre or less. Which we hope will reduce some of those 50/50 cost share neighbor kind of challenges that we were seeing. So that's coming on the 28th. Folks can certainly write into the board if they have concerns or comments, one way or the other. You're welcome to come to that board meeting and voice your comments. We encourage public feedback there.
So Paul, we had a question about Team Rubicon and how would neighbors know if work is being done in their area?
Yeah, that's a good one. We're trying to kind of keep out of that, but I think if you call 211, you can ask for Team Rubicon support. You can start there. You can also email our office if you have direct requests. We'll try to route that to Team Rubicon for you. So that's the Office of Emergency Services. A couple of grant updates. The South Rim Shaded Fuel Break planning project was funded. So that's a big deal. That was a $215,000 grant to do planning around 800 acres of forest.
It'd be better if you were up here, I guess.
Oh, okay, sure. For the grant update, there was a South Rim Shaded Fuel Break planning grant that was awarded. So that's big news. Look for a press release around that. That'll be a planning grant that'll help us work through 6,000 acre fuel reduction project along the South Rim. And there's also some partnership there. Nevada City and the Yuba Watershed Institute were also awarded grants, and so there's a press release coming out around that. So take a look at that when it comes out. The FEMA funded hazard mitigation grant program that we applied for a couple years ago, a project to do a Ponderosa West Valley Defense Zone extension project and a South County shaded fuel break project. Sound going okay, Bob? Still? Or?
They're still way back somewhere.
It's really broken. Doesn't sound like it is. Can we turn those off?
You can hear it.
Wait, intermittent. Can you just talk without a microphone?
I think that when we tried that, they were able to hear me through these other microphones, so the folks in TV land could hear me.
I was using the same mic. All this now.
This-
Is it better when I was using it?
Are they getting feedback or they're just getting something?
Just.
Okay. Where was I? So we're going to rescope that project so that it's just the Ponderosa West Grass Valley Defense Zone. We're gonna. There's already the South County Shaded Fuel Break project in progress. So this will be a planning only grant, and we hope to have the environmental work done on that project this summer.
Sorry.
No worries. We keep going?
Yeah.
Okay. So pretty exciting news. Federal government's giving $750,000 to put towards this project. The county's going to match it with $750,000 to do maintenance on the Ponderosa West Valley Defense Zone. So that's pretty exciting. We hope to start on that in the fall. The requests for proposal are being reviewed by our team right now for the planning grants that we were awarded. So we've gotten vendors now to give us RFPs for the community wildfire protection plan, the local hazard mitigation plan, our evacuation studies. That's all exciting. We'll be moving forward with those projects in the spring. And then the last one, we just got a letter of support today. So thank you for the Woodpecker Ravine phase 2 project we're going to apply to Cal Fire for, and that'll add 726 more acres to that project. And we hope to find out about that project in July of 2023, so it's July. And then the last announcement I have is that the quarterly wildfire stakeholder meeting is going to be now in the end of March, and that'll be focused on fire adapted communities. So contact our office if you would like to be invited to the meeting. That's all I've got. I can take questions from the audience or from online.
Good.
Great. Thank you, everybody.
Kristen, say that question again, please. I can speak to generator safety. What, did they have a specific question?
Who can talk about generator safety?
I have spoken about generator safety.
I think there's the Matthias video or something, isn't there on there also?
Oh,
That we
yeah.
referenced, yeah.
We have several videos that are on the website that concern generator safety. Everything from how to connect it to appliances in your house to how to protect the occupants of the house from the carbon monoxide that is created by the generator, and fire, fuel safety, and how to maintain the generator.
I'm glad to hear you said carbon monoxide because I have seen carbon dioxide associated with the problems. I'm also looking for information about how not to generate power back into the utility system because it's not a recommended connection.
Right. Right. You should never, ever, ever backfeed your generator into your house unless you have the proper relays and switching gear. So that should not happen.
What information is available on this website to prevent that? I used to work for utility and I picked up a wire that was on the ground.
We're going to have to go on to the next subject. Is who do we have anybody from Cal Fire on Zoom? I think they're out dealing with collapsed roofs. Fire Safe Council? Or no, other than that. Okay. So we're going to go to insurance next. Susan?
Hold on just a second.
Station identification.
Yeah.
Stay tuned while we run a few ads to pay for this event. I'm out of jokes too, by the way.
Oh,
I think that
Not that I can tell.
I have the hazard assessment. Yeah, we can go
Ready?
with that.
Okay, Pat. So the trick is speak slowly.
But you need to come up.
I'm not. No, they're all out over the audience. And I don't know if we can turn the speakers off.
No, those are.
No, okay. We're gonna just have to do the best we can.
So, let everybody know that it's my fault that Pat's PowerPoint is not here. So she's going to do the best she can with what we do have.
Okay.
It's my fault.
So we had a glitch. We're gonna do the best we can with what we have here. Okay, you can hear Susan better than me?
I wonder if you
Test 1, 2, 3.
testing 1, 2, 3, testing, can people hear me from here?
Kristen can hear you better.
Wow.
Okay, Pat, you go ahead and try to make your presentation without the microphone. Let's see what happens.
Well, it could be that your earbuds
No, I'm muted.
are.
I muted my phone, so I'm not feeding back. Okay, go ahead. Rod, Pat.
Hi, everybody. Thank you very much for being here tonight. Are they hearing me okay? And I'm sorry, I don't have a cold. I'm not contagious. I have just seasonal allergies. And the PowerPoint just had the 14 pages of the template that we must now use when we update our risk assessments for those that are legacy communities. You've never done it, but for since 2020, we've been using this template. And all you're gonna miss is pictures, but you can pass this around and take a look at it if you like. So even though it's 14 pages, 6 of those pages are full of good information. It's only the other pages that we need to fill out for the risk assessment.
Yeah, we could put that on our website and include it in a link with the blast out to everybody after this meeting.
That'd be great. So the information is collected by the residents who work with the Firewise coordinator, who happens to be me at this time. And portions of the report may be completed by a registered professional forester, your local fire chief or fire marshal, and the Firewise coordinator who works with a very special person. He's here tonight, our GIS mapper. CAL FIRE approves all Firewise USA applications and renewals for California. So you're not trying to make it for just the average Joe. You want to make it so that CAL FIRE sees that you truly understand what is needed in individual neighborhoods. So California state requirements require that new and renewing sites should use the NFPA provided wildfire risk assessment template, and also CAL FIRE's specific 3-year action plan that clearly outlines measurable goals. Assessment participants may include 1 or 2 resident leaders, the fire chief or his appointee, registered professional forester, and the Fire Safe Council's Firewise coordinator. The Fire Safe Council of Nevada County is the NFPA Firewise USA regional coordinator for Nevada County. So you want to work with us, and there's a couple of reasons why. And CAL FIRE is the state liaison. So on page 4, this is a page that you can help us with. Community's general description. When the community has a GIS map created, many layers of information become accessible. But local knowledge may hold some lesser known details that should also be recognized, such as fire hydrants, water storage tank locations, overgrown riparian areas, unhoused persons, etc. And it is important that we know that and much more. There is a list. Things are too long. Pages 5, 6, and 7 are pages that come from the parcel owners or renters themselves. There's a one-page self-assessment of the conditions of the parcels and structures. Resident leaders should strive to obtain information from as many residents as possible. However, what you are seeking is the overall conditions within and adjacent to the entire neighborhood, not parcel-specific details. Therefore, 100% participation is not required. A lot of people angst over that, and we can get a good idea of the overall neighborhood with a partial count of all of them. Because we can't necessarily see everybody's home from the roadway. Information can be collected from neighbors on this one-page survey, which is available upon request. We can give it to you digitally. But some Firewise communities have developed a Google Doc survey for email collection of individual information that also provides a tally of all surveys at hand. Resident leaders input the tally of the data directly into the risk assessment template. Owners and renters should be made aware that the individual information collected is not shared outside of the community, not with insurance companies or any other agencies. We get that question a lot, and it's private to your community. When completing the survey, accuracy is helpful in identifying specific hazards that can be mitigated for the safety of residents and firefighters alike. Broadly identifying these issues may also alert collaborating entities that seek funding sources for specific projects, such as evacuation routes needing vegetation mitigation. Summaries typically require the experience of a registered professional forester to fully describe the observations. And NFPA also has a risk assessment tutorial on their website. And I think Susan has the links that she'll be able to put up. Now, when also updating your action plans, you should review the risk assessment recommendations for potential goals to address in the coming years. All collaborating participants may have pertinent recommendations for this segment. And that's why we like to have the fire chiefs or their designee review it. Further guidance on issues to include in the risk assessment can be things like maps detailing hydrant locations, emergency egress gate locations and lock codes, water available for firefighting, whether it be tanks or ponds. These separate details can also be uploaded to your private portal. We do insert the GIS map within the risk assessment. And then, as I said, the last 3 pages are also really good information. So a completed risk assessment should be shared with all residents and absentee owners, as it contains the requirements to successfully manage and continue the program into the future. It is also helpful as leaders retire or relocate for an effective transition to new leadership. Those who successfully complete the Firewise USA application and renewals are provided with a certificate of recognition for the current and/or upcoming year. This may be helpful in obtaining a discount with participating insurers. And a list of current insurers is on the Insurance Commissioner's website, which we can provide you with the link. Are there any questions?
You want me to go to the NFPA website to show something there?
The links I put in your email, but it's on the.
Oh, here we have some questions.
Yeah, and I have a question. Can you just expand a little on the role of the fire chief for designee? I wasn't clear if you think we should do this and kind of run it past them before we submit it, or do they have a part in filling in part of this?
So typically what we've been doing, and mostly I've been handling new applications. But this year we'll have 25 renewals and 31 action plans. Is once we complete it, rather than taking a lot of the fire chief's time, we send it to him for his review before we send it on to him.
So you do that. Okay, great. Thanks.
So there was a question for us to define legacy community.
A legacy community is typically any community that started prior to 2018. So our first Firewise community in Nevada County was Lake Wildwood. They joined the program in 2007.
So yeah, some of us have been lucky and we haven't had to do this renewal for many years.
And now we must do it every 5 years or sooner. In case there's a development that occurs in your neighborhood, you may want to do it sooner. And the action plans the goals are reset every 3 years. Now, there's also some confusion. People sometimes feel that they must accomplish all of their goals, but we know that everything changes every year. So we do the best we can, and we will, just as we update the action plan, we just simply state what we can do going forward. And you might want to give a narrative of what you have accomplished.
You said that 100% of the community you're in does not have to participate. What happens, I mean, when we live in the community of Brunswick Manor, Firewise area, with 17 properties.
Yes.
Most of us are in agreement that we should do something. There's a couple of really strong holdouts. Well, their house is right across the street from my house. So is there any, I feel like if they don't do it, then how does that impact the rest of us? And are there any legal ramifications for not properly making your property safe? Or in other words, is there a way to perhaps encourage these people to do more than they want to do?
And I do believe it starts first with education. And instead of having neighbors anxious for their neighbor to do what's right, what is the law, PRC 4291, check in with me and let me start a conversation with them. I'd be happy to do that. Now, there are going to be people that resist dramatically. And I see that in every single Firewise community. But what each one is accomplishing for the greater whole is helping bring down the temperature of fires or possibly even stop fires from continuing on their path. So just because a few won't want to engage in that, again, I'd like to start with the education point. And yes, there is a way to file a complaint with the county. But I know from my own experience with my Firewise community, the complaint must be about something egregious, not just because they aren't doing what everybody else is accomplishing.
Fair enough, fair enough.
So there's also tools on our website how to deal with this. We have sample letters that the committee, the Firewise Community Committee would send to the neighbor. They're relatively softly worded. And the other thing, other than the law that backs you up, is the experience of Consolidated when they go out to inspect a property that is not meeting the code. I think it's greater than 90% of the time, the neighbor says, yep, no problem, I'll do it. They're not going to code enforcement. I'm not aware that they've gone to code enforcement since the law was passed. People normally cooperate.
Do the best they can.
Yeah.
Well, it seems that this last storm has sort of helped them trim some of their trees, whether they liked it or not. So that might be good.
That's true.
If they-
And in your area, I believe the mine that's behind your property, I think you might be experiencing some unhoused people back there. So we want to contact the mine and let them know that they should be managing that 100 feet on their side of your fences.
I would like an opportunity to speak with you after, so you can guide us. I have some more people that are interested in helping Sue Clayton. So I think we can move forward a little faster. if You have
Great.
time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I think people on Zoom want to clarify who has to do this. I mean, we know the 20 communities that have to fill out the survey, not all 99 have to do this.
Correct.
There's the 20 communities that need to complete the survey, their committees know that this has to be done.
And if they don't know where to find the information, it's on their portal, on their dashboard. It tells you exactly which year. And I do have a list out in the entryway of highlighted with the ones that need their action plan. There's 31 this year, and the risk assessment, there's 25 this year that will need to be done before November.
So we will be able to, we can post on the coalition website the communities that need to do the risk assessment and the communities that need to do the action plan. The other thing that we'll also post on our website is a Google Doc that can be sent out to everybody in the community. And they can fill out the document online. And then it'll accrue to an Excel spreadsheet that then the committee can use as documentation in their reassessment. So you do not have to use a paper copy or individual copies or phone calls to complete the form. So we'll be putting that on the website as well.
Extremely helpful.
So they don't have to use the form that we showed on the screen.
You do not have to use the form that was shown on the screen. We have a Google Doc that you can populate that will meet the needs of the reassessment.
And then only those that aren't using computers these days can fill out the paper and will manage to tally up everything.
And not everybody is expected to fill it out. There will be some people who will never fill it out. Not to worry.
But I would hope that those 25 that need to do it this year would start and have it ready by July 1st. So that I can assist them with the rest of the document. I'm holding off until July because we're trying to get 12 more Firewise communities recognized by NFPA. And we have a fundraiser coming up that is going to benefit only the Firewise communities that participate. So we're just about ready to send out that media blitz. That'll be June 3rd. And it's going to be a good deal of fun.
There'll be more about that in the future. Okay,
Thank you.
okay, I think that's it. Okay, thanks, Pat. Thank you very much.
If I can bend over to get that.
Okay,
Oh,
oops.
yeah, yeah.
Got Julia. Oh, yeah, is Julia here? Julia, are you there?
Hello, I am here.
Okay, thank you for joining us.
Of course.
I think your voice will come across much more clear than mine. So the floor is yours. We're
Great.
waiting to hear what the insurance commissioner has to say.
Absolutely. Well, thank you all very, very much for inviting me to join you today. I am delighted to be here. I know that there have been many questions that have been brought up, particularly in regards to the regulation that the commissioner went ahead and posted forward earlier in October. So I just kind of want to give you just a quick update of what is happening there, and then I am definitely available for questions, and will do my absolute best to answer all of your questions. So if it's okay with you, I would like to share my screen. And can you see that? Or not yet?
There you go.
You see it? Perfect. Okay. So I just, I know many of you we have met with individually or all the different groups. So I just want to just give you just a quick overview. As you know, the Department of Insurance and Insurance Commissioner Laura is absolutely, working to protect consumers from fraud and abuse. And we regulate most lines of insurance and maintain insure solvency, so making sure that all of the insurance companies are able to pay out any claims that come out. And of course, we look at how they are working with consumers to make sure that any types of consumer complaints are resolved. And we, of course, prosecute and investigate and prosecute insurance fraud. But the one thing that we cannot do that has always come up in almost every meeting that we have had is that the commissioner cannot require or compel any insurance company from selling insurance. So just as a setting up the stage, that is the one thing that we cannot do. However, we do want to make absolutely sure that we work with everyone, and as you have been part of, many of you have been part of many of our conversations in the past, where we have met with throughout the state. We've met with over 150,000 people in regards to these issues, and held over 875 virtual events in all 58 counties of the state, because we know that insurance and non-renewals and the issue of availability and affordability of insurance is not just a one area problem, but it's an entire statewide problem. So we continue to work on that. And so just wanted to just give you just a quick update on just the different types of things that we have done. We have made sure that coverage, expenses were covered for evacuations when people are asked to evacuate due to wildfires. We have made sure that extensions to additional living expenses have been taken care of, and that you all, when you do have any type of issue, that disclosures and coverage is met for upgraded building codes, which was not done previously. And through the one-year moratoriums that we have done on non-renewals for all of the different areas where we have had a fire, we have so far been able to protect about 4 million policyholders. And then we, of course, increased the non-renewal notice from 45 days to 75 days to make sure that people who are non-renewed do have the time to work on finding different insurance, and that they are able to shop and do that well. Then we have also continued to work on the FAIR plan. We know that there are several, many communities that do rely on the FAIR plan. So we have increased the coverage limits for the FAIR plan and continue to work on that to see what is needed right now. One of the biggest questions that we are getting is for HOAs, because many HOAs are, it's a commercial property, so it does not fit into a regular homeowners insurance. And so they need a lot more coverage than the 8 million that we have available right now. So we are working with a FAIR plan to try to find solutions to that, to make sure that that is available. So we have asked, as I'm sure many of you know, we have asked the FAIR plan to also provide a full homeowners coverage policy, so that you don't have to purchase more than one policy when you are on the FAIR plan, but rather that your entire policy is covered in one. We do have, the FAIR plan did sue the commissioner about that, so that because they do not want to be seen as competing for your business out with the different insurance companies. Do want to remind you that the FAIR plan is not a state agency. It is not a state program, but rather it is a a setup where all the insurance companies put money into the FAIR plan so that you can purchase an insurance through there. However, the FAIR plan is managed and governed by the insurance companies. So altogether, it is still the insurance companies are the ones that handle all details with the FAIR plan. So we are, the commissioner held an investigatory hearing on July 13th, just to see what are the major issues that you as a consumer are going through, and what can we do to tackle that, because it is helping no one for us to be in litigation with the FAIR plan in any way. So what we're trying to do is find ways to work with them to try to find solutions for everyone. So we continue to engage with them, the local county and state officials and consumer groups and businesses and the insurance industry as a whole, so that we can find solutions together, because we are responsible not for the consumer first and foremost, but we also need to make absolutely sure that the industry itself is a viable industry. And if you have any type of issue with your HOA, we are happy to review your policies with you and work with you and talk with the insurance company together with you, so we can be another set of support for you there. So all we would need is for your legal representative, your HOA legal representative, to contact us, the department, which is the 800 number is listed right there, or our website. And we are able then to, if you post there that you have a complaint and you would like to have some assistance there, our experts then are able to work with you, look at your policy, review it with you, and then bring in the insurance company to work with you on that together. As all of you I know are already aware, we have worked with all of the governor's agencies that work on wildfires to put together our Safer from Wildfires framework, which is very much so a very specific set of rules that we put together that insurance companies can look at and homeowners can look at and follow, so that they can make sure that we as a whole community are safer from wildfires. And then the expectation is that if we are safer, insurance companies have less risk, and then we have more availability of insurance, and you will be able to have the ability to then shop around, and insurance companies will then be able to compete for your businesses. So we are doing everything in our power to be able to help with that. So of course, as you know, there are very specific things on each one of these things. So we do Safer from Wildfires 1, 2, 3, and there is a list of every specific thing that we have worked with CAL FIRE, Cal OES, the Office of Planning and Research, the Public Utilities Commission, but it also included the insurance companies. Because we did go to them and show them this and ask them to review this with us and see if this is something that can work so that we can get, better coverage and be safer as a whole. So along with the things that you can do for your home, of course, the immediate surroundings. I don't need to go through all of this because all of you know all of this stuff already by heart. So, and of course, are working together as a community, making sure that we have defined boundaries and we are working to make sure that all of our communities, everyone within our community is safer from wildfires. The idea behind all of this was very much so requiring insurance companies to take into account all of this work that you are doing and provide discounts to homeowners and businesses for hardening their homes and their businesses, making sure that you have that available. And then of course, providing the homeowner the transparency about your wildfire risk score. In the past, when you asked insurance companies for your wildfire risk score, and they will give you one, you will say, what does that mean? Or how did you come about that? They would say that is proprietary information and no one could ask them about it. So now with this regulations that the Commissioner Lara was able to pass through, we are now going to be able to see what our wildfire risk scores are, and we will be able to appeal those risk scores. So if you receive something and you've done all this work, you will be able to come back and say, wait a minute, I've done this, this, and this, and this, and this. There is no reason why I should be in this area. Then they have to review it with you and try to figure out how do we make sure that that is taken into account. So we had our public hearing on April 13th. Regulations were approved October 14th, and now insurance companies have until April 12th of this year to submit all the plans on how they're going to incorporate these new regulations. So as you would guess, we do not have any of their stuff yet because they have until April 12th. So April 12th, we will get everybody's, I'm sure. But we have all of the insurance companies who will be reviewing how they're going to then put all this together, and then they will be able to do put together some discounts for insurers. So for homeowners, excuse me. So when we first got started in 2019 and we're putting all of this together, we only had about a little bit of companies doing this, and so now we have 2 out of 5 consumers that are eligible for discounts. But because of this regulation, we will have every insurance company will have to go through the regulations and be able to show us how they're going to incorporate this into their pricing. And so the Safer from Wildfires framework is supposed to get all of the insurance companies online. And so you can check our website, and there we will be able to show you which insurance companies already are doing this, because they saw the writing on the wall, so they're working on it. But we are going to make sure that every single insurance company is going to provide that for you. And we, of course, want to make sure that you all know that you can contact us and speak to someone directly who will be able to look at your particular issue, and we'll be able to work with you and help answer any type of question. If I don't answer your questions to your satisfaction today, you will be able to contact them, and they will also be able to work with you directly and help answer any questions there. But I know that there are a lot of other questions that you all have. I just wanted to make sure that I reviewed the overall work that we have been doing, and want to make myself available to answer any questions for you now. So
Okay,
fire
Julia.
away.
So Julia, can you, this is Bob speaking. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, I can.
So we have a question about the FAIR plan. The understanding is that the FAIR plan itself actually has no staff. I'm not quite sure how they work. I'm not involved with them. So the question is, if they have no staff and there's a catastrophic fire in Nevada County, how will the FAIR plan ensure that there's personnel that they're staffing to actually address our needs?
So that is a misnomer. The FAIR plan does have staff. What they have, you know, maybe what you have heard or what they have said to folks out in the community is that maybe, you know, they don't have enough staff to cover everything or everyone, or, you know, that kind of thing. However, it is, the FAIR plan is under the jurisdiction, like any other insurance company, under the jurisdiction of the Department of Insurance. And so when we had our hearing that we held last time, that was very specific to discuss what it is, what are the issues that we have been hearing from the community and what they need to work on. And so at this point, we are working with them because the issue of customer service was a big issue that we heard from folks. And so we made sure that that we are addressing that with them and starting and seeing what are they doing to improve that. And so they are supposed to be communicating with us constantly to make sure that they are putting steps in place to make sure that everything that that they are supposed to be doing is being done to the best of their ability. So we will make sure that we keep them accountable for that.
Another question is, if an insurance company does come out and inspect our home and creates a rating on our home, how will we see that rating? How will we be informed of that rating and the particulars in that rating?
So so right now, like I said, all the insurance companies have until April 12th to turn in, you know, how they're going to be incorporating all of the different areas of the regulation. So once they, every one of them will be turning all of that in, we will be reviewing that and making sure that they are, that what they are saying that they're going to do, that they are able to do it. And so we will be, and that's when, you know, each one of them will have their own set of I don't want to say rules, but their own set of framework that they're going to be using to make sure that they are in compliance with the regulation. So once, you know, I can't really tell you exactly what, you know, what it is, because each one will have to turn in their own and give us the information directly.
So we have seen what your department has put out for what is expected of homeowners and how we should harden our homes and make our lots safer. Is it possible that insurance companies could come along and layer on top of that and affect our premiums or our insurance status?
So this was very much so, the framework that the department put together was a coalition of all of the organizations that work on wildfires. And so that, not only that, but then we also, during the time that we built that, we allowed the insurance companies to come in and work with us on this and actually have a say on what it is that we were requesting, to make sure that what we were requesting was appropriate for what they were doing. So we will, you know, so that was very specific to the regulation. And so now that the regulations are out, they are supposed to follow exactly, you know, how the regulation is done. If they do come in with something different or above and beyond, you know, that's going to be, you know, every insurance company will have to figure out how they're going to do that. However, if they do that, then you can contact the department and we can work with you to follow up and find out what it is that they're doing. How is that appropriate, or is that not only is it appropriate, but is it legal first and foremost, and then from there is try to figure out, you know, does this work, and then also work with you to see, okay, if this insurance company is doing something that is not going to help you here, then what can we do? What other options can we offer you so that you can look at the other types of insurance that are available, the other types of, the idea behind all of this is very much so that it's going to open up the market so that there is more competition. And at the end of the day, more competition is better for the consumer. So that's the expectation.
So. Right. Kristen, I think she answered that when she said that April 22nd is the deadline for the insurance companies to come forth with how they're going to work with us and how they're going to deal with transparency. And so it's not until April. Are risk ratings available yet, Julia, from some insurance companies?
Not yet. Not as of, I think that it's every one of them will have to be able to share that with us because right now we need to look at how they're going to be doing it. So we need to have more detailed information to make sure that it's appropriate, that it's actuarially sound for the consumer as well. So we have a lot of, we have a lot to review once they bring that, they turn everything in. But at this point, you could still start, looking into all the different insurance companies and what they're doing and how they're doing it to see what can work with you. What we are telling folks is that right now is our time to work together as a community, make sure that our communities are safe. Are safer. So we, just making sure that all of the different things that we have lined up in the regulation on your end that you are able to tackle, and then be able to when it's time for insurance companies then to come in and bring in the new their new sets of insurance products, then we'll be able to. You'll be able to take advantage of that. But so this is the time to do that at this point.
Ms. Juarez, can you hear me?
Yes.
I just had a long meeting with our agent this morning. We're with Allstate, and he told us that our risk assessment is 8 on a scale of 10. So I suggest that people could call their insurance company and say, would you tell me what our risk assessment is? And if they say, well, we won't tell you, then they could say, well, if Allstate can tell their customers, why can't you tell me? And so we're 8 out of 10. We live behind, just for everybody listening, we live behind the Fowler Shopping Center off of Brunswick. So we're sort of close in, but there are a lot of trees in our. But we're 8 out of 10, yeah.
So the whole idea behind this is very much so for you to be able to work with your insurance agents and make sure that that you have all of the information that they need to be able to show what you are doing to make sure that your home is mitigated. I am reading on the lines on the chat, one, insurance companies fleeing California. I want to give you just, put your mind at ease in that sense, because California has the toughest consumer protections in the country. However, California is the largest insurance market in the entire country, and it is the 4th in the entire world. Insurance companies are going nowhere. Every time, every time you hear this from insurance companies, it's like, oh, we're going to stop, and we're going to flee. That's not true. They're not going anywhere because there's too much business to do in California for them to go anywhere. We have, out of the entire time that we have been, in office from 2019 to now, we had one small insurance company that went under during the fire over in Paradise. But that was a very small insurance company. That was a local insurance company. But other than that, all insurance companies are doing quite well. There is no reason for them to go. So when people say that, oh, insurance companies are leaving, or they come, or you hear from, agents or brokers, or, saying, oh, they're going to leave because the department is not allowing them to charge more money. It isn't that at all. It is actually, we are working with them to make sure that it is that they are able to pay their bills, so that they're fair, what they're charging is fair for the consumer. But then we are also making absolutely sure that the consumer is able to, you're able to pay that, the amount as well. So we are, we're making sure that both are taken care of, that both will do well. So on that, I understand that many people have got to go to the FAIR Plan. The FAIR Plan is the insurance of last resort. The idea is for you to not have the FAIR Plan more than you need to. So the it's supposed to be just a stopgap, while you find other insurance. So the expectation is that while we, this last few years, the market has just, been crazy because of all the different wildfires that we've had and all of this. And so the market is trying to, in 2018, we had one of the biggest losses in history. And insurance companies do look at their books and what they're, what they pay out through like the very recent past, not how much money they've made from you throughout the 30 years that you've had them, but rather just the money that they've paid out, very fairly recently. So because of that, insurance rates have, they've gone up, and they're trying to figure out, and they're trying to get rid of a lot of their risk. One of the biggest things that I try to tell people, we have in our website, we have, different things that you can do to look at your insurance, to compare insurance and all of that, in like an insurance finder. And we have our top 10 tips. One of the biggest things that and if you don't hear anything from me throughout this entire thing, the one thing that I would like to just point out to you, and that I would like for you to remember, is that when you're looking for insurance, try not to look for insurance within your local communities. Because what happens is the insurance companies that are doing business in your local communities might be completely saturated with the risk that they have from your local communities. So if you go to, let's say, Los Angeles, call one of the insurance companies in Los Angeles or San Diego, or Imperial Valley, something altogether different from your area, you might find that there is an insurance company that does not have so much risk in your area and will be willing to, diversify their books. So they might be willing to sell insurance at that point from that end. So look at all the different options that you might have. And that is one of the biggest things that I have found when people have called me. I have gotten many calls from people who have said, oh my gosh, I looked and I had been with a FAIR Plan, and it was just awful because the FAIR Plan really wasn't set up to be your regular insurance. So it was awful, but what can I do? And when they actually went and they did that, they found insurance in another area and were just ecstatic because they were able to actually get insurance that they could afford, that was appropriate for their needs. Now the department cannot tell you which insurance company is selling in this area or that area like that, that you can go look for, because we cannot send business to a particular insurance company in any way, shape, or form, like in that sense. But we do have our insurance finder. We have listings of all the insurance companies in our website, and you are welcome to make some calls in that sense and try to see what can work for you there.
So one of the questions we had, and I think you answered it, but I just want to restate it. The listener was concerned that California is now putting more requirements on the insurance companies with the outline that you created. We're monitoring their premiums. And they're wondering if this is causing any insurance companies to abandon California. But what I heard you say is we're simply too big a market for them to do that. And while they may grouse about it, they're not leaving California, and we're not seeing the insurance companies disappear.
Not at all.
I think they would.
Mhm.
Okay.
You're correct.
But another question that was asked was about CAL FIRE, and can a consumer talk directly with with the FAIR Plan? Can a consumer talk directly with someone from the FAIR Plan, or must they talk through a broker?
There should be a phone number of the FAIR Plan that you can call and talk to them directly. If you are having trouble connecting with the FAIR Plan, and if you would like to have assistance, you can contact us, our 800 number right there, and we are happy to make that call for you or with you, and we make absolutely sure that the FAIR Plan is available to you. So you can give us a call. You can, if you don't want to talk to us, you can chat with us. There's a chat feature in our website. We can certainly help that way as well. But if you are having trouble with the FAIR Plan, if you're having trouble with any of your insurance companies, or you're not getting the answers that you need, give us a call. That's what we are there for. We have people there that are during business hours, 8 a.m. to 5. We have people there who are experts in insurance, who are able to, to get you and the insurance company on the phone at the same time and try to figure things out and try to get things ready for you. And so you will be able to get the assistance that you need, regardless of what the issue might be.
Okay, Kristen, what was the other question? So another question was, if the insurance companies have until April 22nd to respond to you, how fast will you turn that around? And when will we as consumers begin seeing something from our insurance companies about the new requirements?
So we have, because of Prop 103, we have the responsibility to make sure that we review everything that an insurance company submits and make sure that it makes sense actuarially, which means very basically that make sure that the numbers make sense, that you are supposed to receiving what you're supposed to, and that what they are saying that they're going to do is possible. And so we have to review each insurance company individually. Now, if there is an insurance company, you may know, every insurance company, whenever they want to raise rates, they all turn in paperwork to do that. When they do that, if it is below 6%, insurance companies will not, we're able to review that and make sure that what they're asking for is actuarially fair, and it makes sense, that it's sound. Then we will accept that. The thing is that if it's above 7%, above 6%, then it goes into public scrutiny, so the public can ask questions, or why is it that they're doing this or that. So insurance companies are very scared of that. So many times they will just do the 6%, get the actual they will get approved, and then they will immediately apply for another 6%. And go that way over and over and over again. So the commissioner met with the insurance companies directly and said, okay, that makes no sense. We are being, what you're doing is just crazy. So what you need to do is review your books, figure out exactly what is the rate that you need, what is it that you're requesting, and then we can figure this out so that you don't just continue playing games with the public, but rather we just have everything right. So we have several companies who already have rates that they have submitted, that they're working with us on. And what has happened is that the insurance companies are saying, okay, we promise that we will write more if we have these, if we are able to increase prices here. However, we need to make sure that those are sound. So we are in the midst of all of that right now as it is. And then after April 12th, when we get everybody else's in as well, or theirs as well, what we are making sure of, if it is very specific to this particular issue, and they turn in everything and everything makes absolute sense, we'll be able to turn it around really quickly, because we'll be able to just review it, make sure it's actuarially sound, it makes sense, it's all set, then we will send it over. So then as soon as that happens, then you will hear. I can't give you very specific dates because we don't know which insurance companies already have everything in place. So some may be very simple, some may be very, very difficult because they might have a lot more that they are requesting in all of this. So it depends on the insurance company. We won't know anything until after April 12th. At that point, then we will be able to review and let you know, and give you a little bit more of an idea as to how quickly those will be turning around. But at the end of the day, all insurance companies will have to submit new rating as well.
So there's another question about the insurance finder. And the question is, have these insurance companies been vetted by the commissioner? So, are they all members of the Better Business Bureau?
All of the insurance companies that do business in California that are in the admitted market are actuarially sound and have been and are part of the are able to do business in California because the Department of Insurance has reviewed their books and making sure that everything that they are doing is correct. So those companies that are there are okay. If there are companies that have had any issues, you are also able to look in the website for that as well, and we will be able to show you. But like I said, we are happy to get on the phone with you if you want to give us a call and talk about a particular insurance company and what in what you're seeing there. We're happy to talk with you about that. We're happy to get the company on the line with you and try to make sure that all your questions are answered.
So is there any way that the insurance commissioner would know, or do you monitor insurance companies that are writing policies in our area? It's extremely frustrating for homeowners to begin making phone calls and getting one negative answer after another. And you wonder, is there anybody out there listening to me? So do you monitor the insurance companies that are writing in an area?
We monitor all insurance companies, period. So all of, we know what is happening with all of the insurance companies. I don't understand exactly what you mean in the sense of so if you can just try to help me understand what is it that
The question is specifically that some people have called insurance companies from out of the area, and as soon as they give them the zip code 95959, they all say, sorry, not writing there. And so the questions was more like, does the insurance commissioner's office monitor whether anybody is writing in a specific zip code? And so that you might know that nobody's writing in a specific zip code.
I know that we do have the insurance finder, but within that, it is very much so. We want to make sure that all of the insurance companies are able to provide the services that you need, right? And so we very much so monitor them and what they're doing. I don't know in particular. I don't know that there is a particular way that we can very much so say, what insurance companies are doing here or there that you can go to and get insurance, because then that kind of goes against the whole thing of us favoring one insurance company over another. There's a whole other set of rules that we can't really go against there. So that's why what we can offer is just the ability to review and look at what, what each of the insurance companies are able to do. If you want help, searching, you can certainly call us and we can help, we can help you search as well. And, try to figure out how we can do that with you as we're there, as you're searching there too. But we can't tell you, what insurance company is, what insurance company you should go to, because it's unfair to other insurance companies. I know that sounds backwards, but unfortunately, that's the that's what we can't really do that.
So another question, we've seen it in the past, and so that it may not be happening now, but are the insurance companies going to be inspecting our property from a satellite? Are they going to use some artificial intelligence to do it? Or are they going to be sending live individuals out to look at our properties and make a determination?
Every insurance company is going to have to turn in their system as to how it is that they're going to do that. And so they will be able to disclose that with you. And the idea is very much so, some of them might be able to use drones or, whatever they use to check on all of these things. And the idea is very much so to be able to look at that and for you to then have access to that information so that you can dispute it. You can come in and say, this is not right, or this is, or I have done this, so this should count for something. So all of the insurance companies will have to turn in their systems as to how it is that they're going to do it. But it will be open and available to you so that you will be able to review that as well.
So if they did use Google Maps, where we were surveyed by a satellite 5 years ago, they would have to disclose that, and then we would be able to dispute it and ask for a rate review.
Absolutely. You will be able to, and if you have the ability to take your own pictures and show your own, then you will be able to do that as well. And then share that and say, we have the availability here.
So there's a few of the questions that people on Zoom have asked that are really individual questions. So we would ask that you call the insurance commissioner's office on the phone number that's on the screen rather than answering them now in the group.
Individual.
Let's see. Okay, is there any? You guys have been quiet. Are there any other questions? Oh, yes.
How many people are on staff with California Fair Plan?
I really can't tell you because I don't know. At this point, we don't have that. I don't have that information, but I can certainly call and find out. And I can share that information once we do. That hasn't been asked of us before.
Then I had a question. I don't know how many of the homes in our area were built before the new building codes went into effect. Mine was one of them. I can do most of what the insurance commissioner has suggested. Enclosing the soffits would be extremely difficult for me to do. So if I do everything else that is suggested, can I still expect a discount, but maybe not as much of a discount as if I enclose the soffits?
So on all of that, every insurance company is going to have their own ways of rating the different types of discounts that they'll be able to give. So it could be that they'll give you this type of discount or that type of discount. What we do not want to do is set a like a floor for them, because then of course you're going to go with the lowest amount of discount they can possibly give you, right? So what we're doing is leaving it open to them for them to figure out what it is and then give that to us, and we will check to make sure that it's actuarially sound. But every insurance company will have to do their own. So I, suggest when the time comes, shop around. Insurance is just like, we joke about it, but it's truly, insurance is like your cable bill. When, suddenly you get this big, rate increase, you call the cable company and say, you know what? I'm gonna go to satellite because this cable is way too expensive. Suddenly, they can figure out how to figure something out to make it so that you can stay there with them. So it's the same type of thing with insurance. You got to look at all of the different things as well that you could see, what that they can make available for you. So that is the idea. And hopefully, and I know this is not happening fast enough. I know. We want it to be done now, and want insurance companies to be able to provide insurance and for all of us to be able to purchase it and for it to be affordable. That is the absolute goal. And the thing is that we do have to go through a process, and the idea is very much so that this is going to open it up so that insurance companies will be able to compete for your business, and then we will get to another place. But right now, we're in the process of growing into that. So I want to just encourage you to keep at it. Keep doing the right thing, keep making yourself safer from wildfires, so that when insurance companies do come and they say, oh, well, we can't, do this, or we got to be so exorbitant, give you, exorbitant increases in premiums, you can very much so come in and say, no, this is what is available. This is what I have done. This is what my community has done. We are safe. And as we show that throughout your community, that this is what's happening and that we are doing the best that we can, and that it is actually happening, that they are not going to be losing millions of dollars, but rather this is an investment for them as well. Then we're going to start seeing that this is going to level out and be able to be good for consumers again. We just need to make sure that we're doing our part, and we are doing, that you're doing your part, we're doing our part, and the insurance companies now need to come in and do their part as well to make sure that we bring this to something that we can all live with. So we are working on it. Know that we are available at the department. That right now this is difficult time, but we continue to work at it, and we expect that the work that we're doing is not going to come back empty, but that it is going to come back with good outcomes for all communities.
So my last question regards an editorial that was in our local newspaper, I think about a week, maybe 10 days ago. And the person who submitted the article said that there was something of a backlog at the commissioner's office to review rate plans. And I'm sure that's an unending process for you. And how's that going?
So rate plans are very much so. This is a really interesting thing that insurance companies like to say, right? Who can they point the finger at to say that, it's like, we're doing our part, they're not doing their part, like that's always going to be one thing or another. Understand that we are doing everything according to the way that it's supposed to be done. We're asking the right questions. We're making sure that everything is appropriate. When we have a backlog, when we have issues, has been because insurance companies do not turn in the information that they're supposed to. So then we have, every time that happens, we do requests for, the specifics, we request for them to send us back information. And 99% of the time, it is the reason that it is taking longer is because the insurance companies are taking their time to turn in the information that they need to. But it is easier, and and we don't have a big marketing arm to go around and say, like that, exactly what is happening. But rather, insurance companies are easy. It's easy for them to then just say it's the department is not doing its job, or the department is taking too long. The department is slow. But no, please know that we are doing everything the way that it's supposed to be done. We are asking the right questions. We're making absolutely sure that you as a consumer are protected. in every way. There are backlogs, and the backlogs that there are very specific because insurance companies have not turned in the
But you have them, yes.
you requested. There are the backlogs that we have right now are for the rates that have been turned in that have nothing to do with the rates that we have for the Safer from Wildfire framework.
So the last
There
question-
are different insurance companies that are doing different, that are requesting different rates for different things, and everything that they turn into us, we make absolutely sure that is in the same that they're giving us the information that we need, that all of the insurance companies are actuarially sound, specifically with Prop 103 information. We want to make absolutely sure that everything that we do as a department is transparent and that the consumer is protected in every way. And so we are absolutely working on that.
So the last question on the chat here, if I understand it, is the individual wants to know who's writing plans, who's not writing plans, and who's dropping people. And I'm not sure that the insurance commissioner's office monitors that, but the local brokers monitor that. And so that might be more a question that you would ask your local broker. They would know which insurance companies are dropping folks. So I think
we do receive information as to, just a different business that is open. You can look in our website and see how many policies have been written in your area, how many non-renewals have been from the last year, how many people are in the FAIR plan, how many, all of that kind of stuff. We do have a listing of that, and you can look at our website, and I can certainly send that information to you so you can look at it. But you can certainly, our website has a lot of information that is available to all of you so that you are able to review it and make sure that you have the appropriate information that you need to make the right decisions.
so your website would show a consumer who has recently written a policy in their zip code.
For the last year, we have the listing of all of the different policies that have been written and how many non-renewals for, and it goes by county. So we do have all of that information.
Is it listed by carrier?
It's by county. No, it's listed by how many in total we have. You can certainly call the department and ask if they can, if you can request that information. And if we can find that.
Would the website tell us that Acme Insurance Company has dropped 10 households and added 5?
You can see, I don't know that the website goes into that much detail. It gives you general information on that. How many in total are in your county? How many non-renewals? I can certainly, if you would like to follow up with me, I can certainly work with you to try to figure out, what information we can share with you on that. So I welcome you to reach me.
Okay, so
Bob, I can put got the website up here.
yeah. So Julia, I will follow up with you on that issue. Pat, you have a question?
I have a question for Julia. Is my understanding correct? When an insurance company decides that they have too much risk in a certain area, that means that even if they have good customers for many years, they cannot renew that insurance because that's not fair across the board.
No, they are able to do so if they would like to. However, we cannot tell them if they should or they shouldn't.
Okay.
We are not able to do that at all. They will decide what that is. If they feel like it's too much, if it's too much of a risk for them, and they would like to, not sell insurance there, but maybe sell somewhere else, that's their prerogative. We are not allowed to.
Okay. My question though is, they cannot even renew good customers that they've had for many years because they pulled out of that particular market.
If they don't want to, it's their prerogative.
Oh, okay,
Can-
so we've been misinformed then.
They can or they can't. It's their prerogative, whatever they would like to do. It is not a definite.
Okay.
So it is their prerogative. Well, thank you all very, very much for having me. I am available to help direct you to anything that if you have any other questions. And I very much so want to make sure that you know that you can call the department and that we can help answer questions or help you connect you with the insurance company and try to figure out how to help you with your particular issue. You just need to file a complaint with us, and we are definitely available to you and happy to see if we can help you in any way. So thank you for your time. I appreciate the invitation and look forward to continuing to work with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for taking time out of your day. We appreciate it very much. Thank you. Have a good night.
Good night.
Okay. Okay, we have a few minutes and we still have a person who's on Zoom who is concerned about generator safety, and it is a passion of mine. I mean, I do talk to people about generators a lot because I have so many neighbors whose generators stop working on them, because they add gas but forget they have to add oil as well. And so we'll go ahead and open it up for just a moment to talk about generator safety. So I don't know who it was that Ken.
Yes.
Oh, there, Ken. Go ahead, Ken, ask your question.
No, I was interested in the generator safety just because I used to work for a utility and I once picked up a wire on the ground that a utility worker said, put that down now. And the idea
let me interrupt you, Ken. Do you
yes.
by any chance have two computers on at your house? We're getting feedback from you.
Only one.
Has his phone?
Is your phone on?
How about other Zoom people?
Or everybody's muted. Oh, I wonder, are we feeding them back through the microphones?
We didn't see Julia back.
Right, we didn't, yeah. Julia was fine. Okay, Ken, go ahead, just speak slowly.
I will try. I once picked up a utility wire that was on the ground that I knew the fuses were blown on the short side of that. I was told by a utility worker that I should put that down now because I didn't know if a short side generator may have been on, and a short side generator might be producing 120 or 120 volts on the low side of a transformer, but could have been producing 12,000 volts to me when I picked up that wire. I wanted to make certain that people on this channel or the discussion was knowledgeable to know that generator safety is absolutely not just their personal home, but anybody that might be in the area.
Okay, Ken, I think I know what you're talking about. When you talk to a PG&E lineman, one of the most terrifying sounds that they can hear when they go into a neighborhood that is without electricity is a generator running. They immediately, their hair on the back of their neck immediately stands up. Am I getting to the right point here, Ken?
Absolutely, and I was at PG&E for 18 years.
So what some homeowners do is they backfeed into the transmission lines unknowingly. They do it because they don't understand how a generator works. They don't understand how PG&E comes into their home, and that generator that's generating 110 volts at your home, if backfed through a transformer, can get jacked up to 4,000 volts.
7,000, 12,000. Yes.
And then a lineman who comes into your community, who then touches a line that is not connected to the grid, could actually be shocked because that line he is touching is connected to your house, that you are improperly energizing. So the bottom line here is, if you're using a generator, plug your appliances into it or plug lamps directly into it. Never, never, never plug your generator into a socket to power other sockets or plugs within your home, because you'll be backfeeding into the grid.
That's correct.
Yeah. So you never ever connect your generator directly to your panel or a plug in your home without the proper switching gear, without the proper regulators, without the proper switching gear. That's something that only an electrician can do. The backyard mechanics, we backyard mechanics should not do that, is the bottom line. This is covered on our website, by the way. It is on the website how to do that. Thank you, Ken. Thank you for your concern. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, anything else? My God, we're ending 16 minutes early. We never do that. So either we're really doing well in making presentations or we've left something out. So I really want to thank our techies tonight for all the work they did. We'll figure out this echoing and reverberation and double this for the next time. For those of you at home, come here. The party's great. You know, we like to see everybody, but everybody be safe and be dry tomorrow during our next what is it, river or whatever? Atmospheric river that's coming. Anyway, thank you all very much. Thank you for attending tonight.
In May.
So and then we'll see you all again in May, right? Right.
That's in May. First Tuesday in May.
First Tuesday in May, we'll be back here with bells on. Okay, thank you.